This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Two Headed Serpent. It was written by Paul Fricker, Scott Dorward, and Mathew Sanderson. It's available directly from Chaosium and also from the Drive-Thru RPG. I am the Keeper of Arcane Lore, and this is episode 16. Our recap will be given by Kent Blue as his hero, Jack Buzz Bellamy. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Kent?
We see in his shop in Hell's Kitchen the legs of Buzz Bellamy sticking out from below a Model A. Frankie, I like what you have done here. It is small, nearly undetectable, and you can trigger it remotely. Better than I could have come up with to shut a vehicle down. Bonanno's men aren't likely to find it. I'm very impressed. You know, I'm glad to be back in New York. Borneo is awful. I mean, end of story. Jungle, bugs, things looking at you from eyes they shouldn't have. You probably would have loved it. I still don't love how we handled that box, though. Dropping it down a hole and letting it blow. Didn't feel much like saving the day, even though I guess it did save a lot of people. Still probably killed a few, though. I don't know, Frankie. Things are starting to feel itchy. Like we don't know as much as we should about the people signing our checks. So the others have started thinking about poking around a little bit. First thing, the elevators. A bunch of them, not all of them, go where they should. Turns out the top floors, 17 and 18, need a key. Which, I don't know, would be odd, but it's Caduceus. Also, there's a big copper dome on the roof. Again, Caduceus. I don't know. Goose is changing more. Still Goose, just a little snakier. Dr. Harrow and Green will probably start their change soon. You did good work with that floating sphere thing. Joystick-controlled anti-gravity. It's not nothing, Frankie. Anyway, Stoney had a great idea for us to build something to sniff out snake people. So we cracked open that viral analyzer manual, the one that weighs as much as a transmission does, and managed a portable version after putting a lot of work and some time into it. Still requires a fluid sample for now, blood, spit, something. Not quite up to our vision yet, but it's a start. Well, we decided we needed a copy of the key that gets you up to the top floors. So I had the idea of setting Fern out to just get a look at it. I ever tell you that she has this photographic memory? I mean, like a perfect recollection of what she sees. Anyway, she got into the elevator with Meadham's secretary, I think, and took a ride with her. Got a peek at the key, memorized it like we planned, and drew it out for me later. I think I can cut that key. Might take a few tries, but I can do it. Meanwhile, Goose and Harrow, they went down to City Hall, pulled some building plans. I don't know, turns out the place was remodeled more than a few times, I think they said. Dome was added much later. Basement's expanded 3 levels, I think, underground now. I don't know. I wasn't paying a lot of attention. And then there's Tyrannish. She's not taking being locked up real well. I can't blame her. Last time we went down there was paint everywhere. Kind of looked like blood. Got the point across. They want to know what she knows. Gate tech, history, old cities, stuff like that. I don't know. It feels like she deserves more time out of that room at least. Some of the others agree and may be wanting to do something about it. We tried to calm her down a little bit, offered her some books, real books. Offered someone she could actually talk with instead of just talking at her or asking questions. Don't know if it'll work, but we'll see. Anyways, I needed to clear my brain after bouncing between so many things I was working on, so I figured I would go up to the artifact room and check out that other sum bomb that they told us they had. I just wanted to get a look at a working one to kind of see what was going on in there. The things they have up there, things that big gravity like it's metal. It's odd and fascinating. I found one thing, this egg-shaped green crystals kind of hums a little, makes stuff heavier or lighter, I think. I don't know the full science of it, but they let me study it, but told me it cannot leave the building, which tells me a lot about it. If I can't figure it out in their labs, might just have to see if these fingers still know how to swipe something, just not bubblegum this time around. Oh, and get this, Frankie. Lloyd, the con man I told you about, guy skipped out on us almost as soon as we landed. There 1 second, gone the next. Seems this Lloyd also knows some of our more esteemed friends here in New York, but not in a good way. Hand me that torque wrench, Frankie. Frankie?
All right. So let's move over to where Lloyd's been for a couple of days. Lloyd, why don't you tell me where you are?
What time of the day is it?
Let's say it's late afternoon, 5:30 or so.
Late afternoon. Okay.
There are some buildings that are not on the docks, but they're near the docks. There's some bars, usually pretty divey bars. You do see a lot of people coming in and out of those. But there's also a place in Red Hook where you can station yourself, where you can observe the warehouses down a little, down the street.
Okay. Well, I would say right now I've got a stack of newspapers under my arm. They're not. It doesn't really matter. It looks like they might have been like swiped. In all honesty, I still have a bundle on them. Where he got them, maybe not going to tell anyone so much. But I'm walking around with like a stack of newspapers under my arm, and I'm just kind of just like trying to hand them out and just talk to people, and just kind of keeping an eye out at that warehouse that I've been checking out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The docks are fairly busy, but the area that you're observing, there are a number of warehouses, but one in particular, the Mafia had told you about, that they wanted to know what Caduceus was up to. You haven't seen any shipments come in or out of that warehouse. You have seen shipments coming in and out of other warehouses all around, but that one doesn't have any activity. It doesn't have any business activity. On the other hand, you've seen at least 3 guards, armed guards, patrolling around the outside of it. And over the course of the afternoon, you've seen like a shift change in the guards, and you think at least 10 guards went into that building and came out of that building, 10 different guards each. So there's an awful lot of guards in that warehouse that nothing is going in or out of. So you can see why Caduceus thinks something fishy's going on.
You mean the mob thinks something fishy's going on with
The mob,
Caduceus?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You've double-checked. It's definitely Caduceus warehouse.
Okay. And I haven't seen anything going in or out, like you said.
No.
So far, it's just... Okay. But there are
The average warehouse around has maybe 1 or 2 guards. This one has way too many. And There's also they're not hired guards for the warehouses, but they're dock guards as well that go all the way up and down the docks and just keep an eye on things. But they don't seem to be attached in any way.
Are there other people that are moving around on the docks as well that are nearby this area, or is it just pretty quiet and secluded?
There are, but only for other warehouses. You haven't seen a manager or an employee or anybody going in and out of this heavily guarded warehouse.
Now, I don't know how this would work, but I'll give you the idea of what I'm trying to do. Would it be possible if, like, I'm walking around with these newspapers under my arms and I want it to look like I'm trying to sell a paper to someone and purposely, like, pick, like, a shouting match with them and have them call me, like, a bum and just, like, kind of just, like, do that to get the attention of the guards at the Caduceus warehouse? Just a little bit so they could see it, so I'd have an excuse to go over and talk to them.
So you're like at the end of the row, and you start to get into a fight with somebody. Maybe one of the dock guards comes up to you and he's like, "You get out of here, you bum! You're not supposed to be in this area."
Not a fucking bum. I got a job. I'm over here. You want to buy a paper?
Nobody wants your fucking paper. Get away from here.
What the fuck you mean nobody wants a
private
paper? Some
property,
people
yeah.
can read, you actual baboon.
Go sell your papers uptown or somewhere else, but not here.
Oh, kiss my ass. And like I'm shouting and I'm just like doing this and purposely, and then I'm just gonna kind of give up. And have I gotten anybody's attention from like the warehouse that's been watching us argue?
You've gotten some. You've probably gotten some stares if one of the warehouse guards is walking by doing his route, but he more or less chuckles at the situation and just keeps on doing his business.
Okay. So at the end of it, I tell him to kiss my ass and I turn around to walk away and I flip him off and I just start walking off and I just kind of just like half kind of saunter over and I see the guy that was kind of chuckling. I go like, "That fucking asshole." And I'm just trying to like make conversation with him.
Yeah, he says, "Hey, don't get me involved.
It's like,
You better
he's
get
got
the
a
fuck
fucking
out of
job.
here."
Oh, fuck him. What's he gonna do? God damn it.
You're not
What
going to
about
find any
paper?
people on the docks that want your papers anyway. They're all working.
Well, fuck, I'm working too. God, I hate
You probably
accidents.
do better if you do it over by the bar over there.
Jesus Christ, maybe I should. Fuck it. You got a smoke, or you got a light, and I just reach in my pocket and I pull out a cigarette.
And he looks put out, but he says, "Yeah, sure." And he lights your thing. He says, "But I'm on duty, so I can't stick around. You just go
I'm not
hightail
trying
it
to
out."
stick. Yeah, but here's a paper for your trouble. I mean, gee, I don't know what the fuck you're worried
Well,
about
thanks.
so much right now, but
And he turns and starts to walk away.
see you around.
Yeah, you'll see me every 40 minutes. So
Okay.
so yeah, you do start to notice that about every 40 minutes a guard comes around the building. So
Okay.
they're
Is it
patrolling the
same
building
guard?
as well. Yeah, for a while, and then another guard is there, and they take turns.
Okay. Yeah, so I want to try to do this again like another day and pick another fight, or just like maybe not necessarily pick another fight, but just kind of go around and like look dejected every now and again, just happenstance, run into him to see if I could talk to him. I'm just trying to see if he'll tell me anything about what he's doing.
The next day, you get more or less the same treatment. Um, and you figure, after the second day, they've been told that if they see you to run you off. It's starting to, you're starting to wonder if they're going to start being suspicious.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to push it too much, but I didn't get anything about what was going on in there. I just wanted to see if I could talk to him for a second, maybe just like, I don't know, fast talk him, charm him, or something to make him just like, I don't know, want to speak
Yeah.
to me for a couple of minutes.
He's probably, you figure out he's getting paid well enough that he's not going to fuck up his job. Um, on the second day, however, you do see the gates of the doors of the warehouse opening up, and they receive a shipment. The shipment seems to be a number of crates. The name Caduceus is on the side of the crates, and they are taken inside. On that day, you do see somebody who looks like a manager. He shows up. He's inside, and 20 minutes go by, and somebody comes to pick up the shipment, and the whole thing is just reversed. It goes right back out again. You can see it's loaded onto some ship down in the harbor. The gates are closed, and the manager leaves. So the warehouse isn't storing anything. At least it's nothing. Nothing is there for more than 20 minutes. It doesn't make any sense. It's a big warehouse.
You said I saw a truck come in. Is there any
You
way
saw
I
them.
could-
You saw them trucking it in from the dock.
Okay. Is there any way I could just like start walking well, if I could see where they're coming from, if I start walking back that way, it like papers my arm, look like I'm trying to hand them out and just try to see where it came from.
Well, it's not that hard since you're kind of looking down into the dock area. It's going right back to another ship when the truck comes back out and taking the exact same boxes. You don't think they unloaded anything or anything at all.
It's coming from a ship though.
Yeah, it was coming from a ship and going back to another ship.
Is there any like dock or managerial house or something like a harbor master or something that would have like an office?
Oh, sure.
That might,
There'll be a harbor master there all the way down at the other side of the docks. Um, uh, you're not sure what they'd be able to answer, if anything, or if they'd even be willing to tell you anything. But I'll give you this. Do a luck roll for me. See how you do.
gotta do good. I mean, I got 99 in luck. So let's see. Yeah, it's a pass.
So when this transaction takes place, just luckily or happenstance, there's a gust of wind. And without the manager noticing, one of the manifest papers flies away. And you can see it tumbling along the ground, and it's heading in your direction. And when it's finally like clear of where you shouldn't be, and it's close enough to you, you can retrieve it.
Okay. I'd like to
What
do
you
so.
what you find is a manifest, and the manifest is for copper wire and electrical equipment. It looks like for some sort of electronic. We don't really have electronics, but some sort of electronic equipment, perhaps for radio equipment and stuff like that. These are parts, and there's a long list of them. And the whole thing is also authorized by Mr. Connors, the quartermaster
Okay.
at Caduceus.
The copper wiring, things like that. But I never saw anything really get moved or brought out. And I think I would notice that because that's not exactly light. That's pretty heavy. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that would be like my second day of going out there. I'd give it another day of not going out there. And yeah. And how long have we been doing this for like a week now, or are we on like
We'll
day
say
four?
this is your third day. You don't
Okay.
think you're going to get any more information, but you've definitely got the pattern of it, how it works. You're pretty sure now there are three shifts, each one lasting 8 hours, and there are maybe 10 people on the shift, and most of them are inside the building, not outside. Only a few of them patrol the outside.
Okay.
So unless they're watching something or guarding something or, you know, keeping something ridiculously safe inside there, you have no idea why they would have that many guards.
There's nowhere else I could really check. I've already checked what there
They're also
was.
fairly well dressed in uniform, so they're probably getting paid a decent amount of money.
Okay.
All right. So you, after 3 days, you probably head back towards Caduceus. And what are the rest of you doing at this time? We'll say you've come together for breakfast or something. Well, that makes sense. Um, you're in the commissary when Lloyd comes sneaking in, taking off his beard and mustache.
Yeah, you don't notice anything. I don't have a hat.
Well,
What
if
you
it
guys do?
isn't our prodigal linguist.
Hey, long time no see. What's been going on?
Where have you been?
Here, there. Saw a couple of old friends. Nothing too serious. What have
You're
y'all
not
been doing?
wearing concrete boots, so that's a good sign.
I'm not really a big fan of concrete boots. They kind of like pinch my feet a little bit.
Well, you've
But
been gone long enough. I hope you brought some gifts back for us.
I brought back my darling presents. Isn't that good enough?
Hardly.
And you just see the smile just kind of slip a little bit from his face. Well, I missed you too, Fern. So what have y'all been up to the last few days?
I mastered the Swahili language. Maybe we can have a conversation in it later.
Right, we
I,
defeated the snake people while you were gone.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You missed all of it.
I never
The
had
bad
best
snake
sense of
people.
timing.
Right, right. Not the one that you're becoming.
Buzz holds out a wand with a little like divot at the end. It's like, I need to test this. Spit on the end of it just a little bit there.
Just trust us.
Yeah.
Just trust us.
Yeah,
It's
go on, Lloyd. Spit on it.
it's a device we worked on. It's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Okay, do I need to do like a psychology thing? I don't trust. This is really weird. What do I need to do?
I mean, if you don't want
Needs to
to, fair
decide
enough.
Yeah, I'm just gonna test it out. It's completely harmless. It's just
But Buzz spits on it. Says I'm
Yeah,
human.
we've all done it, Lloyd. You got to do it to be part of the club.
I just gingerly just kind of like,
Okay, well, I had to wipe it off first. Hold on.
well, you didn't give me that information. You just said spit on it.
I mean, it seems like contamination. Yeah, it's all right. Wipe it off, and Here.
Contamination. I don't have the cooties.
Buzz, you're definitely getting a reading of some sort, but it's not particularly strong.
Yeah.
And you don't know whether you just haven't got it working well yet, or whether he's maybe not got enough
Yeah.
snake DNA.
I figure we've tested it on Goose and Dr. Harrow, just kind of get the different levels of, make sure how it's reading with someone who's a little more farther along and people that are newly snakish. So,
Oh, that's what it was.
yeah, it's to help us figure out. Well, I don't know. It's just to help us figure out. For now, we need a.
Jack, come on. After everything we've been through, you
No,
can't be
it's
honest
more
with me.
fun this way.
It's we're field testing it. That way we can take it out in the field. I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, to convince people to spit on it, but we could always.
Well, I don't know. When someone comes up to me and says spit on that thing, I'm a little iffy on it.
I'm just saying, if we bonk someone on the head and they bleed, we can run it through their blood a little bit and get a reading.
Yep.
If they're a snake person, that's what we want to know. If they're a snake person.
Yeah.
There are easier ways of telling at this point, like shadows and floppy skin.
I mean,
Well,
True, but true, but this is a much more scientific way of doing it, with repeatable accuracy, rather than, because it's just a suspicious.
I'm a doctor myself, but still.
Yeah, that's debatable. But anyway, this is much more scientific, and it's not like we're constantly looking around people at their shadows and.
I don't think we have a great track record of spotting the snake people, too.
Not yet.
And it's going to sniff the air eventually. We're going to make it work with pheromones and stuff. This is just phase 1.
Nifty.
Well, we were proud of it, Lloyd, but thank you.
Right. What are all the
Welcome.
accomplishments you made while you were gone?
Like I said, I had a little personal growth. I went to go see some of my friends. I mean, nothing too terribly much. I mean, we've only been back for a day or two. What do you mean?
Well, look at everything we've done.
You say you defeated all the snake people.
I was joking, you ham.
We're just hurt because you didn't say goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm here.
You haven't been. And you didn't say where you were going. You just switched it off.
See, normal
I didn't know you
people,
would miss me
they
that
let
bad.
their friends know when they're leaving.
I didn't know you'd miss me that bad. I'm sorry.
And to be fair, we didn't know whether, Bonanno had just had you snuffed, dumped in the river.
Oh, no. He and I go way back. He would never do anything like that to me.
People
See,
with
I
enemies
know
should let their friends know where they are.
Yeah, you see, I know his nephew, brother's cousin. We're pretty tight.
You realize that you're on the bad side of, people that have ill intent for a lot of people in this world, right?
I think they're just mostly misunderstood, to be honest, Jack. I mean, they're not
leans
really
over
that
to Stoney and it's like, I'm not sure whose side this guy's on anymore.
I think he's a little. I think his cheese has slipped a little bit off his cracker.
Well, he hasn't had the psychological help that you guys have in the last couple of days.
That is true.
I haven't. No, I'm still. I've taken a bit of psych damage over the last couple of missions, but no. So, well, now that we've got all that out of the way, what's for dinner?
Breakfast.
Yep.
Breakfast.
I'm having breakfast for breakfast. I've actually have acquired a taste for eggs that I didn't have just a month ago.
Oh no, it's just me. I haven't really been all that hungry the last few days, but it's now starting to sneak up on me.
Well, here, try this grapefruit.
Yeah, just kind of I appreciate it, Fern, but
It's full of vitamin C. You look like you need some.
I really appreciate you thinking about me and everything. Remind me of my sister. Here you go. You look like you could really, I don't want to take anything from you.
If it's any assistance to you, Tiranish might have some snacks that you might find most tasty.
What's actually been going on with Tiranish?
She's growing rather impatient with her captivity. Ceaseless questions, pesky little mammals running around demanding things of her, lack of opportunity to expand her experience. I don't think they're going to be able to manage her frustration a great deal longer.
Where are we at right now?
Having breakfast in the commissary.
Commissary? Okay,
Well, I really think they're underestimating her because she could snap anyone's neck and take their skin if she wanted to and just slink on out of there.
Oh, no. Well, I don't really get the feeling she'd be really doing that. I mean,
Well,
DeLuca's a
have you ever
hard-ass.
seen a woman when she's infuriated?
I've seen one or two in my time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you have.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. This is the one time I believe you.
Not many, though, Goose. Not many. Believe it or not. Most people really like me. Once they get to know me, that is.
But we're in the. I thought we're having breakfast somewhere outside, but we're in the commissary inside Caduceus. Okay, so might not be the best place to discuss our covert operations that we're planning.
Yeah, I'm assuming to some level that Buzz has a little white noise machine that he sets on the table when we have these conversations in Caduceus. Because I wouldn't
Start
be
going,
surprised if
"Oh
this
my
place had.
God, what is that noise?
You do also have conference rooms and stuff like that you can always use. Remember, it's
Well, I
also
don't know how worried
1930,
we have to
so
be for it. People around here haven't seen much interested in us anyway.
Oh, no.
Did you-
Everybody seems interested in me. I've been gone
did
for
you want
2
to go
days, and the
somewhere
next-
after breakfast?
We'll probably leave the building when we're going to have more of our sneaky
Subversive.
talks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we have grown accustomed already to switching modes depending on our sense of security.
So what would you like to do then?
I need to refresh my memory on something. I just want to look at everyone and just kind of look at everyone, looking slowly in their eyes as we're sitting around, and I say, "Have you had a good apple recently?" And I'm just looking to see if anyone shifts or acts weird or
Apple a day, you know what they say? Apple a day.
Oh, come on,
was
Lloyd.
that?
Really?
I
Here, I'll
prefer-
give you a banana. Would you like a banana?
I'm just eyeballing Jack really hard right now.
Jack's been working on a lot of things. Currently working on the thing you spit on. So attention diverted.
Why don't you all do a spot hidden except for Lloyd?
Except for me.
Except for Lloyd.
Yeah,
Regular
yeah,
success.
regular success.
Hard success.
That is a hard success.
Failure.
Okay. So as Lloyd has been wriggling, those of you with a success, You've seen something, a line of white inside of his jacket. And those of you with a hard success see that he's got a piece of paper in there that's sticking out. It seems like the more he moves, the more it inches its way out.
What you got there, Lloyd? And Fern reaches across the table and snatches it up out of his jacket. What's this, Lloyd? What did you got here?
I want to do the slap of the hand kind of thing is, like when someone's like kid reaches up to take something that's very expensive that they're going to break. And you're like, get back.
Well, I'd say you both have to do an opposed dexterity roll.
Dexterity.
47. Oh, I'll spend 2 luck to make it a pass.
Let's see. I've got a hard.
Okay.
Really?
So Lloyd manages to slap your way before you yank it out, but you definitely pull it farther out. You just don't get it.
Say that's nothing for it. It's just and I go, and I blow my nose, and it's nothing. And I put it back in
Really? It's nothing, huh?
It's
why
obviously
can't we
not.
see it?
It's obviously not a tissue.
You sure it's nothing, Lloyd? I mean, you just smacked Fern's hand over nothing.
I've been a little jumpy recently since our trip to the island. Fast moves. I don't really sit well with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just also looking around to see if anyone saw Fern almost get the paper out. If I'm a little paranoid
Just you
to see
guys.
if anyone, just us.
Everybody else is giggling and talking and coming in and going out. Nobody's paying
DeLuca's not
attention to
sitting
you.
in the corner just staring
No.
at me.
He's got other things to do.
Come on, Lloyd, we're among friends.
Yeah, show and tell. Share with the class.
Tell you what, how about we all go for a walk? It's nice out this time of year.
Sure.
Yeah, I can walk off my grapefruit.
And I don't mean to be rude. Like this isn't that great of a breakfast. I know a place down a little bit like like a little bit of an English breakfast. They got a little bit of like kipper and mackerel for like the morning. It's pretty good. It's down by the docks. If you want to follow me that way.
Going British again.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't know how close Red Hook is to Manhattan.
Those docks there are docks on the west side of Manhattan, which is not that far from Caduceus, but Red Hook is in Brooklyn, and it's a train ride.
Oh, okay, then. Yeah, I would.
But you can at least get out.
Then.
And you can tell us about it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a nice day for a walk. Let's go for a walk.
So I do believe you're right next to Central Park, so you can go out into Central Park.
So, Fern, why'd you try to take that from me?
Well, obviously you've been up to something, and I wanted to see what it was.
Can't I have a little bit of privacy?
Not amongst us.
Look, I made a promise I wasn't going to steal anything from any of you, and I've never stole anything since I've been with you. I haven't stole anything. Like, this has been the cleanest I've ever been since I made that promise.
I mean, you did almost get us all killed stealing that giant emerald.
That was practically years ago at this point, Harrow.
4 weeks.
So you're just not going to tell us what it is?
And I just kind of unwad the thing I blew my nose into, and I just pass it over to him.
And it's the manifest.
Okay.
It looks
It's all
completely
gold.
like no significance to it at all.
Where'd you pick up a manifest? And why?
It kind of blew its way into my hands. I mean, it was as much as you may never, like, I swear, like, I swear.
Lloyd, are we on the same team or no?
Yeah, we're on the same team.
Okay, so you wanted to be real secretive about a manifest you just blew into your hands.
Shut the fuck up, we're too close. Okay, yeah, I'm just, like, looking around, making sure no one's, like, staring at me. Like, I'm very paranoid right now at this point.
You know,
Look down there, Buzz. Connor's signed for everything on this list.
copper wire. Are these motors small or large?
It looks more like radio components.
Electronics. Buzz, can you get a sense of what Connors is building based on this recipe?
So I was going to ask if I know anything or can think of anything with all those pieces going together.
They're pretty
I mean,
secretive.
yeah, a number of things, electronic things, but they do just seem like generic replacement parts for radios and for anything else that might need that kind of, I think, vacuum tubes, things like that.
And
Nothing odd or unusual. And it doesn't look like you would take the box and put something together. These just look like replacement parts for a box of this and a box of that.
what about
Is the date of the
quantity?
manifest? Oh, sorry.
No.
No.
What about the quantity? They are replacement parts, but for 10 radios, 500 radios.
Looks probably in dozens. So
Okay.
you would think, well, let's see, to answer Fern's question, the shipment is, we'll say, from Boston to New York, and that's all the manifest really says. It was something ordered by Philip Connors. But then, if you've ever seen any manifest in this building, everything has got Philip Connors written on it. So he is the quartermaster.
So, Lloyd, you've been loitering in Red Hook.
Well, I mean, I've just picked up an extra job there. I'm selling papers. But you'd be surprised at what I found when I was there.
Well, apparently an invoice for copper wire. What else? I understand there are lots of immigrant laborers with curious little churches down there.
Well, I don't know if you remember or not. You did bring up a couple of you did bring up a couple of friends I had in the past who mentioned that they wanted something looked at involving our new employers. I was just a little curious, seeing what they're looking at.
So
If they
what
had
you've
a reason to
determined
look
is
at
that
it.
do you think that the spool of copper pipe is full of bootleg liquor and that's why your friends in the Bonanno family are concerned? Or are you just gathering proof that they don't need to be?
There's something strange about it, because as much as that manifest says there's something there, I'd be damned if there was a thing in there.
Well, did you see anyone while you were there, or
They had a bit of a
talk to
battalion
anyone?
They've got a bit of a battalion circling this one damn warehouse.
Well,
A battalion?
that fits Caduceus's kind of MO, being very suspicious and paranoid.
Right, but for radio parts?
Telling you, there weren't radio parts there.
And they were
Nothing.
shipped out, and they were taken out immediately after, right? So something has to be stored there for before you came, or it's all
And
just a ruse. But why pretend? Why
And
draw
Tom,
so
I
much
am
attention?
I am understanding that, right, Tom? That when I was there was nothing that was getting unloaded off of these trucks.
Yeah, nothing. Gustav, do an intelligence roll.
87. I'll spend a few points of luck on this one. Only 7 points of luck, so
Well, if Lloyd tells you the number of guards and stuff you do start to think it sounds like a ruse. Like maybe they're just shipping and receiving from there to make it look like they're active.
I mean, to me, it sounds like a con too. Like that sounds like a front for something. Would be what I would be thinking.
But to what end would be my question. Like,
Money
sure.
laundering?
Maybe there's
Usually
maybe next time we're around Connors, we just ask if Caduceus has off-site buildings for storing,
I'm sure they
things
do.
but if he says they don't, then that's an immediate, sign that this building is suspicious if he doesn't want us knowing about it.
So I'm
Asking
thinking,
also brings attention to the fact that we're asking.
Well, we don't ask about this specific building, just in general, do they have another warehouse with more weird gadgets that might help us on our,
Right, yeah.
jobs?
Of hell or whatever.
I mean, I wonder what an institution like Caduceus would be maintaining a secure, empty warehouse for. And the first thing I picture is long-term storage of things that perhaps are so insecure that they wouldn't want them in Manhattan. But if they're going to have a sun gate here,
Yeah.
that doesn't appear to be a very large concern. And then I think about, experimental animals or something, but you have to bring in food for those, and there have to be, animal handlers, not just security. It's possible they brought in a large load of something in the past and they're just maintaining it.
Well, you don't think they're preparing to move Terraniche, do you?
But they could house an animal or something, like the crates that Lloyd saw go in. They might contain some food, take the food out and ship them on. Because if you're going to ship something, why have an extra stop that you're not really using?
They didn't, but right, Tom, they didn't take anything out of the trucks or put anything into the trucks.
You didn't see anything removed from the crates. Well, they did take stuff out of they did take stuff out of the crates, out of the trucks, but then they just loaded them into another one. And
oh, I thought the crates were taken inside for a few minutes and then taken back out.
They were taken inside, and then
20
eventually,
minutes.
20 minutes later, so they were taken back to the docks.
So, because I'm thinking, if this is a ruse, the Inner Knight are the only other people who really know what Caduceus is about, right? As far as we know. They're drawing a lot of attention given by how many guards are in a normal warehouse. So I still I'm still don't see how or why.
Well, we do know about the estate, and we have some inclinations about what's going on there.
What
and
estate?
I feel like the Meadham estate in Connecticut.
What are you talking about?
The letter that we got in
Lloyd
I
doesn't know
think
about that.
episode 14. Oh, he doesn't know about that. Okay.
In episode, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Told you, when you have those episodes, Tony, you got to go talk to the people down in the basement. You're up to 14 already. My goodness.
Put it on the list.
Once you start numbering your episodes.
Sorry. It's been a while. I forgot you didn't know that. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that I think Dr. Harrow is onto something that perhaps this warehouse is as an extension of what they are maybe doing in the estate.
Well, I guess the only way we're going to find out is if we get a peek in those crates.
Not going to be easy. And I don't think this is something that a grenade can solve either. And it's just not.
We can't be blowing up stuff.
Guess it depends on what your level of solving is. At some point, you get to the point where a grenade is the only solution.
I'm wondering if maybe this time we should try something a little more subtle.
We could go with our original plan and sneak into the top floors. There might be some documents pertaining to whatever they're doing in the docks. There has to be some paperwork somewhere, right?
Right. That's another option. You probably are right.
Mr. Green, while you were slumming it in Red Hook, we were trying to figure out what is going on inside the Caduceus headquarters on the floors that we don't have access to. Jack's going to fabricate a key that will allow us to use the elevator that goes to the upper forbidden floors, but that doesn't even tell us what's inside the great dome on top of the building or in all of the sub-basements. So you're not alone in investigating our employer.
And I look over at Jack, not saying that I have any particular experience in the matter, but if you need any help with that key or lock, like I had an uncle who was a locksmith, and I'd be more than happy to give you a hand.
Not wanting to really turn a hand down, so I'm going to take this drawing that show, I have it in my pocket that Fern made after seeing it. I'm going to get it over to my shop. We do a little key work and
just don't blow your nose on it.
Got allergies. Come on, doctor. You know what it's like.
I can give you a shot.
I'd appreciate not. I don't really want to start getting any black freckles on me anywhere. And I just start looking over at Goose. Just at like all the random black spots he's got on him now from the random areas where he's been hurt.
All right. So you guys have been wandering around or sitting at a bench and chatting. What next?
I think if nothing else is pressing, probably get to work on the key, just walk over head to my shop and do that. That way we are ready for the going up to the upper floors that we're going to need it for. So, and whoever can join me there. So,
well, I'd like to go with you because I'd like to meet Frankie, but I also wondered if you or Frankie could work on a little gadget for my knife so I could make it pop out of my sleeve.
Yeah, that's probably something I'm sure Frankie could whip up and just probably about the time it makes to make a key.
Well, we've got the address for the warehouse in Red Hook. What are the windows like on the place, Green? I'm sure you considered mechanisms of entry while you were wandering around it.
There are only high windows up around the perimeter. There are no windows in the sides of the building.
Skylight as well?
Probably. He couldn't see inside, so he doesn't know.
Never got that
well,
high.
if you could see the roof from down the street or whatnot. How tall? How many stories?
Looks like 2 stories high. Well,
big warehouse stories.
Right.
Yeah. And there are entrances for large trucks on the street side and the dock side?
Yes.
And they're closed. And the security guards were going in and out, not those docking doors, but human-sized doors. Does the warehouse acknowledge that it's Caduceus? Or does it say Acme Warehouse number 9? Or
it just has a number on the outside of it, but
the crates.
The crates were definitely Caduceus.
The mailbox has just the address, not a business name.
Right.
Couldn't get that close to the mailbox. The guards were.
Well, the postman has to be able to get to it.
Shit. And I just just bite my lip a little bit.
10 minutes later, Lloyd comes back dressed as a postal worker.
I'm just thinking of something.
I think you're kidding, but I'm going to buy the costume.
I'm still up for sneaking into the top floors, but we could also try Lloyd. You have a manifest. Maybe you could like forge another manifest that like tries to give us access or something. Like we get we get Buzz to get a truck with some crates on it, get a fake manifest.
Tony
See
and
how
I
far-
get in a couple of crates, take a trip.
Yeah. I can get us the truck, yeah.
It's also an option. I'll just throw it on the table, see what you all think.
I think it's interesting. The other notion that struck me is we have these small communication devices. I wonder if it's possible to, just put a rubber band around the on button. I might be able to float one up and into a window, and then we could hear what's going on in there.
That's probably a lot safer.
It seems like a good preparatory step before we get ourselves all splintered in a pine box.
He also does inform you that there's a 40-minute window in between the time when the guard comes around, but you don't know what the situation is like inside.
I mean, most warehouses are fairly open plan, and if there are 10 guards inside, I mean, what are they expecting? Maybe they're afraid of what they're holding.
Would it be possible to maybe get on a rooftop of a neighboring building and have like binoculars to look down through the windows, or is that not something?
I think you might be able to see through their window, but you wouldn't be able to see down at an angle.
Down into them.
Well, unless we were high enough to look down through a skylight, but if they are that worried about security, they probably just have, gummed them so that they're not transparent, but only translucent.
And there's, of course, also the middle of the night.
I've got a question for you. How well do I remember the guy's face that I spoke to?
I'm sure you probably remember his face. You were probably trying to remember his face.
Is there any way whatsoever that I could probably find something, maybe not at like close inspection, like within like 15, 20 feet, but a little bit further away, something that would look like that guy?
Probably not.
Okay. So I was going to see if maybe we can just bonk him on the head and just have me walk around as the guard.
Well,
Okay, I guess that's...
there is a disguise that you haven't learned to use yet.
I don't want to eat the guy.
So say you gotta have a very like one-to-one disguise almost.
It's only a shame that you have to kill him first.
Yeah, every time I think about the utility of wearing somebody else, I think of the neatly stacked bones of Shapiro in that crate. And it gives me a very unpleasant feeling about the prospect.
It could be very useful, but, I'd have to make sure that somebody is like not worthy of wearing their own skin.
Yes, I mean,
And I am.
the way things are going, I'm sure we're going to have outfits available sooner or later. So
Yeah, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I think we, tackling Caduceus headquarters is definitely a night job, but the warehouse might be day or night. Maybe while they're making a key, we should go and case that Red Hook.
All right.
You're welcome to. And Tom, I didn't see anybody when I was there that looked suspicious, like maybe followers of Joe the Banana. Okay.
No.
Okay. I was just curious about that.
All right. So what's our next move?
I think I'm helping Jack make the key.
Okay.
I
So you head off
recall-
with. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So you go off with Jack to
Yeah.
his shop.
Fern came with us. So
Fern. Okay. Gustav, Sonny, Stony, and Dr. Harrow.
I think it's the BMT train line that takes us to Red Hook. It's not direct. It's too. The reason it's a port area is because the ground is not deep enough for underground tunnels. So we'll have to get the trolley when we get to Brooklyn, or walk. Ferris Street is the one along the wharf side. So yeah, I think we should take, binoculars, surveillance kits, right? We'll take a couple of mirrors, a set of binoculars or two, or our communicators, and look nondescript. You're good at that, Goose.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can verify. I mean, there is, of course, a non-zero chance that Lloyd made all of this up and forged the manifest himself, and he's just trying to get rid of us for a little while, but we'll figure that out soon enough.
Crazy as it sounds, I'm starting to trust that guy.
He wins. No. All right. So you guys take, I don't know how long it would take, but it takes you a little while to get down there. And how do you want to approach? Do you want to approach from above where like I say, the bar and stuff is and go down towards it? Or how are you dressed? If you're dressed just like normal people, then nobody's going to even pay any attention to you.
Probably more dressed down a little, more like a dock worker, working clothes.
Yeah, I think we want to avoid suit and tie and instead more boots and denim sort of thing. Overalls even.
Anyone need a beat?
Okay.
We all have them. Thank you.
All right. So when you get when you get there, you decide to take a walk down towards the warehouse in question. And just as Lloyd said, you do see a guard who's making his rounds around the outside of the building. Are you going to stop and do anything, or are you just going to walk past?
I think we want to do some casual passing and, scope the place out before we get noticed.
All right. So I'd like you to do spot hidden rolls.
And
walking past.
68. I
Aha.
could spend luck.
Well, I have an 11 under 45, so I can spend 2 for an extreme.
Okay. I don't think you need to spend any luck. Dr. Chute, you notice almost immediately. So right at that spot, there are in fact 2 warehouses next to one another. The one that you guys were sent there to look at with all of the guards, which is impenetrable. You can't see inside. You can't do anything. The guards, he's watching and he's not watching, but he's definitely there in case something happens. And as you walk by, there's another warehouse, just the next one down. And on that one, you do see the Caduceus logo, and the back port side is open, and they are in fact receiving a whole bunch of crates of something. They all have the Caduceus symbol on them. And that warehouse, as you walk by, you can see right in through the sliding doors. It's full of all kinds of what look to you like medical supplies.
The very gear that we've been shipping out with.
Yeah.
Might easily have been loaded and unloaded from this area.
However, in all of the hustle bustle that happens to be going on there, you only see one guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, clearly they're up to something that is not for public information, which is why they have one labeled and one not. There easily, of course, could be a connecting basement or tunnels between the two of them. As soggy as Red Hook is, it's not as there aren't, you can't reinforce a basement. And even more easily a tunnel. The guards that are on the unmarked building, are they wearing the same outfits as the single guard on the Caduceus building?
They are, yes.
So it's sort of half hidden. Goose, you're used to subterfuge. What do you think they're up to?
I cannot make heads or tails of it, because if you want to be covert or something, you don't post like 3 times as many guards as any of the other warehouses around here, and also you don't get crates with large stamps of Caduceus, and you don't receive those while your building has no symbol on it. I don't know. It's all a little. I would need a little more information, I think.
Is it possible that this second warehouse with all the guards, it's just for show?
It's definitely an option, but the question would be why? Are they trying to lure in Inner Night into an ambush? Is it supposed to make Inner Night think that the real shipping goes on here while it's, I don't know, in Boston near near the estate or some totally other place? It's definitely an option.
What's the weather like right now? This late morning, I assume, or midday?
Yeah, it's mild.
A warehouse building, I expect to have windows that cantilever, but often there's sort of a chain link fence or, a sort of metal guard so that they're not just glass, they're reinforced. Um, so I'm wondering, I don't know how easy it's going to be to load a communicator through that.
Well, you can definitely see as you walk by that there are skylights, and you get pretty much the layout of the warehouse, and the two warehouses look identical. Obviously built by whatever company built them is the same company.
We could try sneaking into the legit one that has almost no guards and see if there's a tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, when you say we, I think you mean you.
Yeah, I mean, me as the representative of the
Yeah.
we.
And Stoney and I can be in touch via communicator in case we need a generator distraction. I mean, the tunnel, of course, is purely a guess on my part, but it's one reason for them to have two buildings that are next to each other.
Yeah, because, yeah. Why else would you? I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering if we have what kind of Caduceus identification materials we've been given.
You've got your name tags or whatever, yeah.
But that's probably specific to the Manhattan building. It doesn't mean that we couldn't stop and say, we're from Caduceus, here's my ID. I'd like to ask you about a shipment that didn't arrive or something. Just a distraction that would give Goose some cover to slip inside.
Yeah.
I think for the medical ones, definitely. I think the warehouse one, the heavily guarded one probably has some instructions about not just letting in any
No, I
Anybody with a
mean
badge.
the formal one because we can feign ignorance of the other one that way. I think I don't think we want to make ourselves known to the security next door.
No, exactly.
Yeah. There's definitely a kind of a security level clearance that's on your badges, which allows you to go to places that normal people can't do. So if they know anything, they'll think that you're higher up than they are on
Mhm.
the list.
Right. So as a medical man, I think the best thing to do is put a tie on again and change shoes. We brought our disguise kits, little case that we left down the street in a sneaky part.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'll dress up again and wave my caduceus bag at the front entrance and say that we were expecting a shipment of uh, penicillin that for
Um,
uh,
the guy at the front desk, the manager, he's like, penicillin. When was that due in? Let me check the manifests. And he starts thumbing through the manifests.
yeah, we were expecting it to come from here into the Manhattan Center 48 hours ago. I don't
And
have, yeah, and I'll
was
try
it
to keep him talking so that Goose can
sure?
slip in.
Yeah. Yeah, Goose. You can do a stealth roll.
81. I'll spend 41 points of luck for this
Oh
one.
my God! No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay. I mean, I want to get in, but
You can push instead of spending.
Yeah, you could.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
How would
if
I
you
push?
if you just roll it again, and if you don't get it, somebody's going to notice you and just say, "Hey, you can't begin."
Yeah, more the justification for rolling again.
They're going to shoot
Okay.
you.
I'll try
They're
and
gonna
push.
shoot.
Although I don't really have a justification for why I'm able to push. So it's up to the GM if they'll allow it.
Yeah, you can
I'll
do it if
push
you want.
for you. When I see some guy clock you, I, inadvertently knock the fellow's clipboard out of his hand, and everybody scurries to pick up the papers, and you have another chance.
That sounds good. I rolled a 79, so the gods
So
are not with me today.
I'll let you say that you get in and you realize that it's like going to a big box store. It's just rows of shelves with various categories of medical supplies and bandages and things like that. And you don't get very far. You get halfway down an aisle, and somebody says, I don't recognize who you are. Why? What are you doing here?
Oh, sorry. As my colleague at the front desk was telling, we were missing some penicillin, and I was just checking if
Oh, well, you need to
everything
talk
is
to
up to snuff here.
you need to talk to the manager up front. We can't have you just wandering around.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I might get lucky and spot the case that it was mislaid or something. But I'll walk away and leave it there.
Right. So after a few minutes, you start to get questioned, Dr. Howe, well, I don't find any manifest for that. Let me take down the information and we'll put in an inquiry.
I appreciate it. It's, there have been a few of these instances recently. I think that somebody can't tell the difference between a 6 and a 9 or something. We'll figure it out. I mean, I've already talked to Connors, but since I was in Brooklyn, I thought I might be able to expedite things by stopping by. But we'll get it eventually.
Well, I'll make sure this gets back to Connors to make sure that that whatever's missing it should be here. It might just not have gotten taken off the ship. I don't know.
And these things happen. It's not the last case in the country, but I like to know where things are. I
Sure.
appreciate your time.
But you do get to scope out the warehouse.
While you were in there, Goose, when we repaired down the street to a noisy diner, did you see that there was a stairs to the cellar or any idea about anything connecting the two?
You didn't see any stairs at all.
No, didn't see anything. It's just, regular warehouse, rows and rows of all sorts of items stacked in
Cement
there.
floor. Yeah. Cement floor, if you didn't hear me say that. All right, Buzz and Lloyd and Fern, you guys are back at Jack's place. Making the retractable knife is going to take at least a couple of days because she's got to do some welding and making machine parts and stuff like that. But it's a cool idea. Making the key is not that difficult at all. It's just a matter of shaving a piece of metal that fits that pattern.
Yeah, I'd probably make a couple of them just in case first one doesn't work,
And nothing really much happens after that. What do you guys want to do next?
Well, what do you think they found? I mean, if they didn't find anything, I guess we're gonna have to try to get up the tower, like up to that dome.
Yeah, I feel like that's where most of our answers are going to be. Like I said, I think we'll find out. If they don't find anything in the warehouse, and we can get up into the top floors, I'm sure we'll find out what that warehouse is actually doing. If anything, I don't know, maybe it is just legit. Maybe they're getting in the radio making business. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should send Lloyd down to the basement, the secret basement. What do you think,
I'm
Lloyd?
right here. Secret
I know.
basement.
There's a
basement.
third level basement.
You should definitely go to the not secret basement and talk to the people in the, psych offices.
Well, he
Call
can
me
he
crazy?
can make that like a segue.
Oh no! I dropped a sun bomb down a hole that probably killed people, so I needed to have a little chit chat with people that could help me work through that. I'm just saying it's good for your noggin. Seeing as you're turning into a snake person, that's probably a little traumatic on the brain.
It's a little hard to to to, to start working with, and I'll be honest. It's just like yeah. As soon as I said the word honest, I just started going.
Just gotta work on your mind as much as you gotta work on your body.
Yeah, let's talk about getting back up to the room. I don't really there's
As I would expect any man in the 1930s to address their mental health. Let's
Well, and
not.
plus you said you haven't eaten for a while. Maybe you should stop at Tyrannisha's and get some food.
I don't know what she's gonna have.
Something wiggly. You'll love it.
Tom, how does that strike me? Does that freak me out, or does it actually sound kind of?
At this point, you can freak you out as much as you want.
It's just like
You're in control.
I think I'm pretty good on that front. I don't know necessarily like I don't think I'm that like far gone, and I just start looking down at myself. Just like it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to see her, but I
Far
don't
gone,
really,
you make it sound like you're dying. I think you're improving.
oh, Thank you. It certainly is different.
I mean, we can't change it now, so gotta, make the best of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying.
Right.
We're here to help, Lloyd. If you want to just, drop the act a little bit and let us in.
And I look down and I look right back up at him. Jack, can I borrow $100?
No.
1930s, you might as well say, can I borrow a bazillion bucks?
Can I have your life savings, Jack, please?
All right. So by the afternoon, you all end up back at Caduceus. We'll say upstairs in a conference room where you can chat or make your plans or do something.
Or at the diner down the street, since we're afraid to talk in Caduceus because we have 21st century mentalities about surveillance.
So here's a key. I have a second one that I'll just hold on to in case the first one doesn't work. That has just the slightest of difference between them. So surely one of them will work.
Fern, does one of those look more perfect than the other?
And she studies them very carefully. I think the one on the left is a little more representative of what I saw.
All right, start with that one, and then if that doesn't, I'm sure it will work. For some reason not, maybe this one will be off just enough that it will.
Lloyd, your uncle
actually try this.
Well, I think we're all going to be on the infiltration when the time comes. I don't think it matters who turns the key. Your uncle, the locksmith, he could probably, if you could tell from the shape of a key what the important parts are to stick out and be recessed, which is sort of how skeleton keys work. So we could probably take the one that Fern thinks is less perfect to make it more like what was your uncle's name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy the locksmith. Well, you mentioned your sister earlier. What was her name?
Why are you so curious about my family history?
I'm a genealogy nut, and I like to fill out the whole tree. Also, I'm interested in psychology. Firstborn children are different than middle children, later children. Is she an older sister?
Well, no. We're twins.
You have a twin?
Yeah, we're identical.
Identical twins of different gender. I'm surprised I haven't read about you in a medical journal.
We did. Well, no.
This isn't
we try to keep to ourselves.
This isn't the letting us in I was talking about, Lloyd.
And the other reason I was asking about that key, and I just start looking around, it just in case it starts to get, my uncle, things tend to get stuck. You could always, and I just I want to tell them it's an actual lockpick that you can make out of like a wire coat hanger, which has like a little snap gun. So you can actually bend it around into like a little spring and give it like a little snap. And as you start clicking it, it'll be able to make that. And I'd be like, are you sure that it doesn't matter who is at the lock? Because we might only get to do this once.
Well, we had the idea that I could accidentally catch something on fire in the basement while messing around with, stuff down there that I would be messing around with. Not a big fire, but
a distraction fire,
yeah.
Right?
Could we get?
Plus, we'll be doing it.
Or somebody could just leave a cigarette, in a bin with some papers, and nobody'd be the wiser because how many people in this building smoke? Probably 100.
Everybody.
I don't know. I personally don't smoke.
You don't smoke? It's
The
good for
most
you.
suspicious thing yet.
Yeah.
You all get a blip on your communicators. And it shows that Dr. Gonsalves needs to set up a meeting with you at your convenience, perhaps 5 p.m. in the conference room.
God, I hope we're not going back to Borneo.
They have us do that. That place is fried.
I'm going to pull a Lloyd if they tell us we're going back to Borneo and not be around for a few days.
I mean, it's good for your mental health.
5 p.m. Sound all right for everybody? I mean, we were gonna do the operation, I assume tonight, so if they're shipping us out, that might mess with our timeline a little.
Right, it could, but there'll be less people in the building.
I mean, more if they're gonna ship us out, we don't know if it'll be directly, maybe tomorrow morning, if we need some good sleep or...
No. Usually they haven't given us much time at all.
No, exactly. But if we decline the invitation, that'll be even more suspicious. So I think we just need to accept it anyway.
Okay.
Well, we could say that Lloyd is still MIA.
He's in the conference room with us right now in the building, right? Or we went somewhere outside, but I think we were in the commissary this morning, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you still have some time before 5 p.m. It didn't seem... It seems like in the past that they've been kind of like, we need to have a conference now, right now, first thing this morning. In this case, it's a few hours off. It doesn't seem as urgent.
No, and if we do have to go and put out another fire, the mysteries here will still be intact when we return.
That's definitely true. I wonder who they'll send with us this time.
Well, that is a question. If I were...
Who is up for it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be volunteering if I were Gonsalves, that's for certain. Our track record is rather dismal in that regard.
What do you mean?
I'm not sure that they're given a choice. Our last handler didn't seem like he wanted to go very much at all.
No, that's true. I wonder if Shapiro had any sort of unusual gifts. Perhaps he anticipated his demise. God. The bones were very, never mind. So
is there
before
anything you
5...
want to do until... Yeah, go ahead. That's exactly what I was going to ask.
I mean, I don't feel like breaking into the top floors before 5.
No,
everybody will be working still, and
no, we don't want to. That's a the illicit floors. I mean, there were some grand windows, right, and a balcony on Meadham's suite.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was on one of those. Otherwise, the windows are like on the other floors. And we've looked at night. We don't think that there's a 24-hour staff there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Maybe security, but not like regular.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So I think one thing we should do before 5 is check in with Tiranish.
Yeah.
Just friendly faces might, I'm not comfortable jailbreaking her, but I also want to keep her as happy as she can be until she gets more freedom, because I don't want her to become desperate and make rash choices. I assume that she's tolerated her imprisonment for this long because she anticipates that if she escaped, there'd be a full manhunt and she would be considered a menace and expendable. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think
I
it's in
wouldn't
everyone's
mind.
interest to keep her as happy as she can be made under the circumstances.
I wouldn't mind springing her, but where are we gonna keep her? And Caduceus is probably gonna send out a lot of people to find her because she seems very valuable. So maybe not
No,
now.
no,
Yeah, if
she'll
we
be
spring
treated.
her, I think our time here is done if we spring her. So,
Well, if they know
Well,
it is us, but yeah.
yeah.
well, if our next handler comes up missing, I guess we just don't get rid of him, and then, well, all of a sudden,
You are full of good ideas, Lloyd.
Do you think you could have, if we had more time, uh, do you think you could have put Shapiro's skin on after we dispatched him? If if everything hadn't been blowing up?
It's hard to say. I've never tried it with a fresh skin, so to say, let alone a used one. So
Gosh,
Right. Can they even be reskinned?
that's the question I think Dr. Harrow is asking right now.
um, and in
if we absolutely,
addition, I guess,
I was gonna say, if we absolutely need skin, I mean, I'm sure we could find something in a morgue of someone who's recently dead. Just like pack it up
that's
in a suitcase and get it to her.
no, that's just where I was going. I'm sure Caduceus does sufficient quantities of medical research that there are cadavers that we could legitimately experiment with, and it's probably a good idea before we attempt to that sort of thing in the field. It'll be an interesting meeting with Connors, but it's probably wise course of action experimentally.
I
Well,
want to.
Did you want to talk to Connors?
about getting well, I will send a
Oh,
memo to Connors on the side saying, never mind about the penicillin, we found it, just so I don't get an irritating question from him about the warehouse staff.
okay.
Uh, but yeah, I think we're talking about sourcing human cadavers in a more futuristic way than right now. I'm just thinking of what might be nice to bring Tiranish. She's probably read all the books that we acquired. She has
And
all the
I've
rodents she needs.
Well, somebody
I've
mentioned a chicken the last time we was talking to her. Maybe she would like a chicken.
You know, there's certainly plenty of livestock dealing in Red Hook. Maybe we were clever enough to bring back a
Chicken.
Live
alive
chicken.
bird.
Just walk through the building with the chicken tucked under her arm.
See, if we're in the middle of the city, there's gonna be a butcher somewhere, and someone should have like a live chicken.
Again, those are more sort of on the docks side of things. They tend to kill them and then move them into the butcher
There's gotta be a
shops.
slaughterhouse somewhere.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
that
but it
close
won't
to
be in the
Central
middle.
Park.
I want
Yeah.
to spend some time with my new egg. Maybe even ask Tiranish if she knows anything about it.
Growing some more of those crystals seems like it might be extremely useful.
So we've brought books to Tiranish. We might bring some other culture, so to say, maybe some music or art or something
Oh,
like that.
yes.
Maybe she'll enjoy that.
Does she already have a phonograph in her chambers?
Probably not, but you could bring her
Yeah.
something.
No, I think she might be quite interested to hear. I mean, she missed 13,000 years of culture, and music's quite interesting. We could get a collection from Bach to Chopin. That'll occupy some gray cells if that's the color of her cells. Yeah, it's a good idea. So let's Goose and I can go shopping, get a phonograph and some nice shellac albums, and then
Oh, if
and
you
then
need
we
some
can
help
arrange
with that, I've got a friend that runs a pawn shop just right down the road.
a friend, not a relative.
Yeah,
I mean, you seem to have a big family. So Catholics?
Yeah. How'd you guess?
Your sister's name. We didn't, your twin identical sister. We didn't get her name.
No, we didn't. Do you still want to go to the pawn shop?
I think we're going to get something new with a fresh needle and whatnot. She's probably kind of picky.
I mean, I can forward it from the Birdie and from Caduceus.
All right. So you guys managed to acquire a phonograph and some records. Are you all going to go see Tyranniche?
I think Jack was going to do some materials research, but we can.
Okay. That's right. Jack wants to. He's playing with his gravity enhancer. Fern and Stony.
I think I had petitioned her to write down some Na call for me, so that way I would have something to translate with. So I'll probably see if she has been able to get any of that done.
And Stony?
I think I'm going to take a suggestion from earlier and go downstairs and talk to the white coats about my episodes.
All right.
I don't want to do it right now, but I also want to go outside for a cigarette and see if I can find one of the mob people, see if they're still following me.
You haven't seen them for a while. So
Okay.
I don't think that they saw you in your disguise.
Yeah, so that's why I was wanting to go out and see if they saw me now that I'm looking like me.
No, you don't see anybody observing you. All right. So you go to visit Tyranniche, and she's happy to see you, but she does seem still like she's sulking a bit. You set up the music, and she finds it interesting, but not particularly. I mean, she seems to have a lot on her mind, obviously.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to ask her questions or?
Yeah, something's been on my mind. I understand that your intention to trace move via the dreamland was meant to be a shorter experiment than it was. And so as far as we know, you're the last of your civilization. Was there any sort of plan, though, or, was there an idea about how to coordinate when the pyramid re-arose with the rest of your people who weren't on the fallen side of the family?
Well, I mean, yes, there were teams of scientists that were still quite active in my area. They're the ones that helped me form the plan, and I was the one chosen to go. I didn't expect that they wouldn't be there after 100 years. So something must have happened, and that bit of our history wasn't written down, so I don't know what happened. Uh, Unless they were attacked, they could have been attacked by the other side, and the other side didn't know what they were doing, and there's so much confusion that could have happened at that time. And I'm also not sure that I'm the only one of my civilization that's left. When the island of Mu translated out of this universe, we don't know how time works when that happens. Those scientists, that war that was taking place might still be taking place. Just not in our dimension any longer. On the other hand, Mu could be completely destroyed, in which case all of this is for to dreams of a scientist that'll never come true.
You don't, except for your group and the lost civilization on Mu, there wasn't another city that might have remnants somewhere that we could perhaps seek out?
Well, there were scientists all over the world. There was no clear distinction between, the worshippers of Yig and the worshippers of Tsathoggua and the scientists. It was a society, and the conflicts were within the society, and they'd come to a pretty nasty head, almost revolutionary between all three groups. We were the rational ones, though. We were trying to find a way to solve the problem without relying on the worship of some deity.
Is there another population center that you suspect has a greater chance of having lasted?
I don't know. Don't have enough access to the outside. I wouldn't mind looking for such a thing. I've asked these people here questions, and they've said that the worshiper that a good deal of the population, as they became less and less, and humanity became more and more, that they tried to simply integrate into your societies, secretly, of course, hidden amongst the people, but not particularly aggressive in any way, just trying to live their lives the way we've always. These factions, when I say it, they're of course the radicals. It's the common everyday serpent person probably didn't really care much one way or the other. It's always the radicals that are fighting.
Well, your people, did you have something maybe we should be looking for? Did you have an emblem that your people used, or a phrase that maybe you would say to one another upon greeting, that if we ran into someone that could perhaps be part of your people, if we said it, they would recognize it?
I could, yeah, sure. And she tells you things, that they used to, when they'd speak to one another, they would say scientific things, and if the person seemed scientific, then they knew that, they could eventually breach the subject of there not actually being any deities, but beings that you can use their energy and so forth. She says, if anything, we were more interested in a creature, a deity that we had captured called Gdanathoa. But we were using it as a source of energy, just tapping its energy. We didn't worship it. It wasn't that kind of a thing, a raw, natural entity.
How did it produce this energy?
It's just the nature. It's a higher dimensional creature that just naturally gives off energy, heat, electrical power.
Where was that entity maintained when you went into your slumber?
It was maintained on Mu, in the beneath the citadel, and had been for quite a long time.
You say there are no deities, right? So what would be the difference between when is something not a deity but an extremely powerful or omnipotent creature? Like there are, if I hear of this creature that you had on Mu, some people would call that a deity. So what's the distinction?
And some people did call it a deity, and some people worshipped it. But why would a creature with that kind of power require any worship at all? Uh, I'm not saying that they're not very powerful. I don't think that any of them are all powerful. That's beyond reason. Um, I think it's misunderstandings and superstitions that cause people to worship these things. People used to worship the sun because it was a big glowing light and it gave the world warmth and made plants grow. And so people thought that it was a god, but it's not a god. It's just a big ball of atomic material that is constantly, it's difficult to explain this in your language, but it's just a ball of gas.
We have Einstein. We know what the sun is.
Yeah, but worshipping the sun still makes sense, right? It might not be a god, but it's godly in that it provides the whole planet with so much.
We scientists felt that the distraction of misguided beliefs was something that caused harm. And so we were trying to get past that point. And it looks like that hasn't happened yet. There's still these silly inner knights worshiping Tsathoggua, and this Tsathoggua deity, or whatever he is, can still do a great deal of harm.
Do you think if your scientists had gotten a hold of Tsathoggua, you could have harnessed energy from it?
We would have tried. We would have imprisoned it and done exactly that. Or blocked it off. Sometimes you have to block these things off in order to protect yourself. But we would have done it all rationally. We would have fed it virgins or anything like that, you know.
No chanting required.
Do you show her the egg thing that you've got, Jack?
Yes, I do.
Oh, she says, that's very interesting. This is something older, I think, even than the Serpentines. This is, we believe it's created by a race of creatures that we call the first ones. I believe I've mentioned them before. I drew you a picture of it if I hadn't had destroyed the picture in the process of, I had a fit of anger. It's debatable whether they still exist or not. If they do, it's either underground or it's someplace far to the south. They were almost unheard of in my time, but we suspect that if they did exist, they might be the ones behind the phasing of Mu out of our universe. It would have been something they might have been capable of.
Yeah. This thing seems to manipulate gravity of objects. So.
Yes, but you can see that it wasn't meant for a human hand or even a serpentine hand.
Yeah.
They aren't built like we are. That can be very dangerous, so be careful with it. If you'd like, I could study it and give you a more deeper way to control it. I've seen them before in museums in my world.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I don't know if I could get that cleared.
Well, did you sign it out?
Yeah.
Perhaps Whatever makes you comfortable. Do you have any other questions for her, or shall we move on to 5 o'clock?
Well, I wanted to give her a gift since other people brought her gifts and I haven't really given her anything. I wanted to give her I'm assuming that she bathes like every other intelligent creature. So I have essential oils that I've collected and I give her essential oils because I thought maybe a nice bath would be relaxing for her.
Yeah. She says we'll have to work on corresponding. I'm sure that a lot of the flora and fauna of your world are not different than my world. I just don't know what the translations are from Naakal to English. But I can identify them by smell and taste, I'm sure.
I'll have to bring you some samples, but each of the vials here are labeled with what we call them. And if you recognize any of them, certainly go ahead and let me know.
Wonderful. All right. You chat with her for a while. Your presence does seem to calm her down. Jack, are you going to try to get clearance? Or are you going to let her work with that?
I'm not going to actually try to get clearance. I just want to talk about it with the rest of the group to see if we think me handing over this egg to her is a great idea or no.
I think that she might be able to explicate its use considerably. I don't know whether it's powerful enough to be an escape risk for her. I don't think she's really being held. I think she could get out whenever she wants. I think she's tolerating it, but it's not going to be tolerated forever.
That's the feeling I get too.
And again, I think if she did leave without authorization, that Caduceus would consider it a primary matter to exterminate her, and she's probably calculating that.
I'm going to find a way to give it to her under the condition that, if we have to ship out, I do want it back because I think it could be useful in the field.
Okay. All right. So you go up to the conference room at 5, and Gonsalves is sitting there. And he says, good, come inside. No need to sit down. I'll tell you what I know. And he smiles. He says, all right, we have discovered, we think, evidence of a cult that are worshiping the Father of Serpents, Yig. They seem to be situated in a small town in Oklahoma, and they're using the guise of a Christian church. Now, I say this with a smile. I don't want you to be heavy-handed in your approach to this. At least not to begin with. We need to find out the root cause of all this. I want you to find out how this backwater town has turned to worshiping this particular deity. Be on the lookout for serpent people. Remember, the inner night is dangerous and can appear just like you or I. I want to take you upstairs or down the hall to the radio room and play for you a recording that I made that we discovered thanks to Jack's radio enhancements. Let's go have a look.
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Not you.
Dr. Gonsalves, this is a human cult of Yig?
Yeah, it seems like they are. I don't know. I don't know. That's what we need you to investigate. But, be gentle because the Yikians have never really posed any kind of a threat. They're probably just well-meaning, and we just want to know what's going on or how this is going on.
How small community are we discussing?
I don't know. Listen to the recording first, and you'll understand. So apparently they have a small radio station, and like many places in the Midwest, they are broadcasting evangelical Christian teachings over the airways at a regular interval. But thanks to Mr. Bellamy's enhancements, we noticed up a carrier signal that's going along with it. Here, let me play this for you. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God hath made. And he said unto the woman, now this is from Genesis, you recognize. Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the so we started adjusting the frequency, and this is what we got. For God doth know that the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good,
and the old mistakes of the past shall pass away. I have seen the truth and been enlightened by God to instruct and guide the chosen people. It is ye, the father of serpents, who has spoken, not in my ears alone, but in my soul. The time has come for a new awakening. If you hear my words, then heed my voice and come to Bingham, Oklahoma. There you will find healing and life. Yig is our father. It was not him who deceived mankind. Iskas anastora, Fiasan Javos, Spian Hawan Sis, Shasarla, Nahasoswa, Pivenya Shoswa, Piva Fnichaswa. Come to us, follow our voice. Hear the word of God incarnate in the glittering form. Yig, our master, Yig, the father of serpents, follow my voice and come, Bingham, Oklahoma. And when you come, you will find your new family, one that will give you love and hope for the future. Shalt thou eat for the rest of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So you see, there's two different messages there. You probably noticed also there was some Na'akal that was being said. Didn't you? If you were able to understand.
I might.
My best translation is something like wondrous yield, the ungodly under Yig, bestowing blessings to lie and strike, something like that. The blessings come to waiting hearts. It was a lot of that sort of stuff. So we're not in a huge rush, but I think that in the next couple of days we've got Philip working on getting you train tickets out there, and we would like you to go and investigate and see what's going on. Quite strange.
The town in Oklahoma, I couldn't quite. Was it Bingham?
Bingham.
Bingham.
Yes, sounds like Bingham.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not too far, I think, from Oklahoma City. He looks on a map, and I don't have the map, but
I, for one, am glad we're taking a train.
I think that it's south of Bingham, Oklahoma.
Do we know the... Go ahead, Goose.
Are we going in alone? Are we getting a handler?
No, I don't think you need a handler at this point. Just keep in communication with us. You know, I don't think there's much to worry about. You might find some oddities, but so far there's been no violence of any kind from these people.
Maybe a bit excessive to send out a whole team of 6 people for just a recon job.
Well, it would take multiple episodes if we did different things at the same time.
I don't want to have any more episodes.
What is an episode?
Yeah. No, I think you need to all watch each other's back just in case, because we could be, I mean, if we're picking up the signals, the internet also might pick them up. And
well, yes, and if they're broadcasting in Nakal, then there's some relationship to the serpent people. There's some serpentine relationship. Is there any known outpost of the internet in Oklahoma? Is there a cave system?
Not that we know of, no. It's a pretty decimated area. They've been having a lot of dust storms, and it's a dust bowl.
And go ahead, Fern.
I was going to say, I wonder if they're a schism of a Christian sect from the Appalachians, because there's people that are Christian that do handle snakes as part of their religious practice, and very well could be related.
Well, we know very little, so maybe this will be good for you. It won't be such a harrowing fly-by-night experience for you. You'll take your time, be thorough, and investigate, and report back what you find.
So we're to depart in a day or two? None of the broadcasts have said anything about a particular time?
No. And they may have been going on for quite some time. We just managed to record this one. So enjoy. I mean, enjoy your less frantic time. No more
the Dust Bowl.
No more giant exploding bombs or.
Well, I did hear they have some good barbecue down in Oklahoma.
Right now, it's the area is a lot of people are leaving Oklahoma. It's they're not having a very good year for the harvest, and there's lots of dust storms.
I understand the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
That there's no more waving wheat. Right. And that is where we're going to end it. We went 2 minutes over. Cool.
Everything's leading up to what sounds like actual creepy Call of Cthulhu, like cultists now in Oklahoma. Like, that actually sounds kind of terrifying.
We'll see. Our players included Cone Lighton, Carrie Comer, Kent Blue, Julian Arba, Dakota Poole, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.